I spent months planning our 5th anniversary trip to Italy, only for my wife to tell me 2 days before that she needed space. Confused, I stayed behind. A friend sent me a photo of her, sitting on the Spanish steps, wrapped around her coworker. When I called her, she laughed and said, "Thanks for the vacation, loser." I made sure she came home to an empty house, empty bank accounts, and divorce papers waiting on the kitchen table. My name's Mark. I'm 36, live in Raleigh, North Carolina. 5 years ago, I married Lauren. We met at a barbecue my buddy threw in Charlotte. She had this loud laugh, green eyes, and could crush beers with the best of them. I fell hard. We had a good thing, or so I thought. We weren't rich, but we were solid. We both worked. She was in marketing at a medical supply company, and I did IT support for a few local businesses. We had our routines. Our Sunday hikes. Our game nights. Our little inside jokes. It felt real. Our 5-year anniversary was coming up, and I wanted to do something big. Italy. A dream of hers. She'd talked about Rome since we met. Said she wanted to throw a coin in the Trevi fountain. I made it my mission. I saved up for months. Took on side work fixing computers and setting up networks for small offices on weekends. Cut back on lunches out. Sold some old gear. Every spare dollar went to the trip. I didn't tell her at first. I wanted it to be a surprise. But about 6 weeks before the date, I caved. Told her the whole thing, how we'd be going to Rome, Florence, Venice. The tours, the hotels, the food. She seemed stunned. Then she smiled. She hugged me and said, "This is the sweetest thing anyone's ever done for me." She looked happy. At least, I thought she did. 2 days before the flight, we were packing. I had the suitcases out, tickets printed, passports ready. She came into the room and sat on the edge of the bed, real quiet. I looked over and smiled. That's when she said it. "I don't think I can go." I laughed at first, thought she was joking. But she wasn't. She wouldn't look me in the eye. "I need space," she said. "I've been feeling confused. I just need time to think." I asked her what was wrong. If I did something. If we could talk about it. She just shook her head, said it wasn't me. That she didn't know what she wanted. That she had to figure it out on her own. I was hurt. Confused. But I told myself maybe it was stress. Maybe she was overwhelmed. I told her I'd stay back too, and we could figure it out together. "No," she said. "You should still go." I didn't go. I couldn't. I stayed home, trying to give her space, whatever the hell that meant. She said she was staying at a friend's place. I didn't question it. I wanted to believe her. That was my mistake. The second night, around 10 p.m., I got a text from my buddy Jake. He was in Rome for a conference. Totally random. "Yo, isn't this your wife?" he texted, followed by a photo. I opened it. I'll never forget what I saw. Lauren. My wife. Sitting on the Spanish steps. Wearing the scarf I got her last Christmas. Wrapped around a tall dude in a navy blue jacket. She was smiling. Her hand was on his chest. His hand was on her thigh. I stared at the picture for 10 minutes before I responded. "Yeah. That's her." Jake didn't know what to say. I could tell by the 3 dots that kept popping up and disappearing. I called her. She answered right away. I could hear the street noise. People laughing in the background. She was giggling. "Hey," she said. "You're in Rome?" I asked. She didn't deny it. Just laughed. "So what if I am? Who's the guy?" She didn't hesitate. Just someone who appreciates me. Then she paused, and said it, "Thanks for the vacation, loser." And hung up. My hands were shaking. My stomach dropped. It was like everything I thought I knew just broke. But I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I got up. Walked to the kitchen. Poured a drink. And started planning. She thought she'd played me. Used me. Lied to me and left me here like an idiot while she took a romantic getaway on my dime. She had no idea who she was messing with. She picked the wrong guy to screw over. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the kitchen table until the sun came up, just thinking. I had the photo of her and that guy open on my phone. I kept staring at her hand on his chest. The way she leaned into him like she'd done that 100 times. She didn't just cheat on me. She humiliated me. I needed to hit back. Not with violence. I'm not a violent guy. But I was going to make damn sure she paid. Slowly. Quietly. Without warning. The first thing I did was lock down the money. All our accounts were joint, she liked it that way. Said it felt more like us. I used that to my advantage. I transferred everything. Every last dollar from our savings, checking, and vacation funds into a new account under just my name. Even the rainy day fund we kept in cash in the safe, I took it. All gone. Then I called my bank and took her off the credit cards. Froze the joint ones. Opened new ones under my own name. She wouldn't feel it in Italy. Not yet. But the second she landed back in North Carolina, she'd hit a financial wall. No Ubers. No groceries. Nothing. Next, I called my buddy Rob. A divorce attorney I used to game with back in the day. We hadn't talked in a while, but when I told him what happened, he got real quiet. "You have proof?" "I've got a picture of her in Rome with the guy. She told me over the phone, straight up, that she's with him. Said thanks for the vacation." "Okay," he said. "Let's make her wish she never got on that plane." He helped me fast-track the paperwork. Told me what I'd need, bank statements, the photo, messages, everything. I had it all to him within 24 hours. I also changed the locks on the house. Had the garage code reset. I left all her stuff exactly where it was, I wasn't going to throw it out. That would have given her something to cry about. No, I wanted her to walk in expecting her life back and see exactly what she'd lost. By the third day, I'd taken time off work. Told my clients I had a family emergency. Then I unplugged. I didn't want to risk answering a call or text from her. I let everything go to voicemail. I didn't open a single message. And sure enough, 3 days later, the day she was supposed to come home, I got a call around 4 p.m. Unknown number. I didn't answer. Then another one. Then a text. "Mark. What the hell? I can't get in the house." I waited 10 minutes before I replied. "Oh, you're back from your space?" Nothing for a second. Then, "My cards aren't working. Where's the money?" I took a picture of the stack of divorce papers sitting on the kitchen table, next to the keys she left behind. Sent it to her with a simple caption, "Thanks for the memories." No reply. But I knew she was going to explode. That was just the beginning. She called her mom. Her mom called me. Told me I was being childish and spiteful. I told her to ask Lauren about Italy. About the Spanish Steps. About the coworker. There was a long silence. Then she said, "Oh. Yeah. Oh." She hung up. But the real chaos didn't start until 2 days later, when Lauren showed up at my office in person. Face red. Hair a mess. Looked like she hadn't slept. Open the door, Mark. I didn't. She pounded on the glass like a lunatic. You can't do this. You emptied everything. I didn't have anything to eat yesterday. I stepped outside, calm as hell. You should have thought of that when you called me a loser from Europe. You're blowing this out of proportion. It wasn't what it looked like. You literally thanked me for the vacation. While hugging your coworker. She broke down crying. Right there on the sidewalk. I made a mistake. I didn't think you'd, no, I said. You didn't think. Period. She tried to grab my arm. I stepped back. There's nothing here for you anymore. Then I walked inside and locked the door behind me. But that wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. Because I soon found out something that made everything worse. And gave me a new reason to keep the revenge going. 3 days after she showed up at my office, I got an email from a fake account. No subject. Just a message, you think you know everything. Ask her about the company trip to Orlando last February. I stared at it for a long time. The trip to Orlando. She said it was a marketing conference. Left on a Thursday, came back Sunday. I remembered it clearly because that was the same weekend I got food poisoning and ended up in urgent care. I called her twice while I was there. She didn't answer. Texted me later saying she was in sessions all day. Said she was exhausted and would call me tomorrow. She never did. I let it go at the time. Trusted her. But that email? That changed things. I called my buddy Chris. He's a cybersecurity guy, runs IT security for a logistics company. Told him about the email. Can you trace it? Maybe. You want me to try? Yeah. And if you can't, I just need to know if it's likely real or someone messing with me. Couple hours later, he calls me back. Email came from a public Wi-Fi IP. Starbucks in Durham. But the weird thing is, the metadata on the email, whoever sent it had access to Lauren's work calendar. What? Yeah. That conference she said she went to? There's no record of her registering. And guess what else? What? She was in Charleston that weekend. Not Orlando. I felt cold. Charleston was where her company had a regional office. Her coworker, the guy from the photo, was based there. I went digging. I still had access to our shared cloud storage. Lauren was never careful with her photos. She'd sometimes back things up automatically, and forget. And there they were. Buried in a folder labeled Miscellaneous 2023. Photos. From Charleston. Her and the same guy. Sitting by the water. Holding drinks. Kissing in front of the hotel logo. I stared at the timestamps. February. 6 months before Italy. 6 months she'd been cheating, minimum. All that time, all those nights she came home, tired or not in the mood. The last-minute, work dinners. The way she'd snap at me over nothing. It all made sense now. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This wasn't an affair that just happened on a trip to Europe. She'd been lying to me for months. Using me. Letting me save up for a romantic vacation while she was off having her own secret getaways. And now? Now I wasn't just angry. I was done playing nice. I had a friend, Jamie, who ran a small PR firm. She owed me a favor. I helped her rebuild her servers after a ransomware attack 2 years ago. She told me if I ever needed anything, to call. So I did. I told her I wanted one simple thing, for everyone at Lauren's job to know who she really was, without it coming from me directly. Jamie grinned over the phone. Leave it to me. A week later, Lauren was called into HR. Apparently, someone had submitted an anonymous ethics concern. Included screenshots, photos, anonymous tips. Said she was in a long-term inappropriate relationship with a coworker. It worked. The guy from the Spanish Steps. Married. With 2 kids. His wife got the same email package. From what I heard through the grapevine, there was screaming at their office. A whole scene. HR launched an investigation. He was let go first. Lauren? She got administrative leave pending review. Her world was crumbling. And then she tried to call me again. 20 missed calls in one night. I answered on the 21st. You ruined my life, she hissed. No, I said. You did. I just sent out the invitations. I lost my job. He's gone. His wife's filing for divorce. I have nothing. You had everything. And you threw it away for hotel quickies and a cheap thrill. You didn't have to destroy me. I paused. Let that hang. You destroyed us the second you kissed him. I just made sure you felt it. She sobbed. I didn't say anything else. I hung up. But as much as I thought that was the end, it wasn't. Because 2 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. Not from her. From her lawyer. She was contesting the divorce. And demanding half of everything. When I opened that letter, I laughed out loud. A real, bitter kind of laugh. After everything she did, after cheating, lying, spending my money on another man, she had the nerve to demand half. But legally, she could. We were married in North Carolina, a 50-50 state. Unless I proved financial misconduct or hidden affairs had damaged our marital assets, she could push for a clean split. And she was clearly counting on that. Probably figured I'd back down to avoid more drama. She didn't know me anymore. I called Rob, my divorce lawyer. She wants half, I said. There was a pause on the line. She's got guts, I'll give her that. What can we do? She's in trouble, he said. You've got the photos, the vacation lie, the guy's wife confirming the affair. But that's not enough. We need proof she used your money for the trip. Proof she planned it while still pretending to go with you. I already had a copy of the airline tickets and hotel bookings. All in my name. But Rob needed more. That's when I remembered the shared Amazon account. She forgot to log out after we split. I dug in. There it was. A week before she told me she needed space, she ordered a men's travel bag, cologne, and 2 leather passport holders. Gift wrapped. Shipped to her office. I sent it all to Rob. Perfect, he said. When we went to court, her lawyer tried to paint her as confused, emotionally overwhelmed, and misguided. Tried to say I was being cruel. Said I was trying to leave her with nothing out of spite. But Rob wasn't having it. He laid everything out. Calm. Clean. Professional. He showed the receipts. The texts. The photos. Even the emails between her and the guy from her work. Rob had subpoenaed them, and they showed she'd booked the flights with him using my card. Told him, he thinks I'm just taking time for myself. LOL. That one hit hard. Her face turned red as those emails were read out loud. I didn't smile. I just watched. Her lawyer kept trying, but it was over. The judge ruled she forfeited her right to the shared savings and any future alimony. Said her financial misconduct was clear. Said the vacation alone showed intent to deceive. I kept the house. The accounts. Everything. She walked out of the courtroom shaking. I didn't follow. A few weeks later, I got a voicemail from her. I never deleted it. Mark. I messed up. I know that. You didn't deserve any of it. I was stupid. And selfish. You were always good to me. I hope you find someone better. I really do. She sounded empty. Like the part of her that could lie and smile at the same time was finally gone. I listened to it once. Then saved it. Not to hold on to her. But to remind myself how close I came to letting someone like that ruin my life. It took a long time to feel normal again. I moved to Asheville, started over. Same work, different clients. New home. New friends. I stayed single for a while. And slowly, I healed. But I still think about that photo sometimes, the one on the Spanish Steps. The moment everything fell apart. Not because I miss her. But because that picture showed me the truth. A truth I needed to see. And the truth is, some people don't just lie. They plan the lie. They build it. They make a life out of it. And when they fall, all you can do is make sure they fall alone. It's been 2 years since the divorce, and my life doesn't look anything like it did back then. That's probably a good thing. After Asheville, I took a job offer out in Denver. Bigger client base. Better pay. I got a place just outside the city, quiet, with a view of the mountains. I picked up hiking again. Got a dog. Built a life that didn't revolve around someone else's moods. I still don't date much. Not because I'm bitter. I'm not. But once you've had someone look you in the eye and lie like it's nothing, you start asking questions people can't always answer. I thought that chapter was closed. Done. But life, as it turns out, doesn't always care about your plans. Last week, I was at a small tech expo. Nothing big, just a chance for local IT businesses to network. I had a booth, passed out cards, made small talk. I was packing up to leave when someone tapped my shoulder. Mark? I turned around. And there she was. Lauren. Thinner. Hair darker. Face older somehow. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Didn't expect to see you here, she said. I kept my voice even. Didn't expect to see you ever again. She laughed softly. Fair. I didn't ask what she was doing there, but she offered it anyway. I moved out here last year. Working part-time, doing freelance. Still trying to find my footing. I nodded. Hope it works out. There was a silence between us. She looked down, then said, I still think about what I did. About what I lost. I was so stupid, Mark. I know it's too late, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. I'm not trying to start anything. Just, read it. If you want. She handed it to me and walked off before I could say no. I didn't read it that night. Or the next. But yesterday, I did. It wasn't dramatic. Just a letter. Handwritten. She talked about therapy. About how she used to ruin good things because she didn't think she deserved them. She said she hated the way she treated me. Said losing everything finally made her look in the mirror. She ended with, you didn't just walk away. You made sure I saw exactly what I did. And I needed that. I hated you for it, but I needed it. I'll never forget it. I hope you found peace. I folded the letter and tossed it in the drawer with the old court papers. Because the truth is, I did find peace. But not because of her letter. Because of what I learned, don't wait for people to change. Don't beg for the truth. And if someone tries to burn you down with a smile on their face, Let them. Then build something better on the ashes. That's what I did. And I'm never going back.